Let me quickly talk to you about a $1 million instant business loan from Quick Loans Direct. We are looking at the minimum FICO of 300, same-day business loans and cash advances from Quick Loans Direct. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation, I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you had to ask me, if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about a $1 million instant business loan from Quick Loans Direct. This is a great opportunity, and they only ask for a minimum FICO of 300, which means if you have poor credit, fair credit, good credit, excellent credit, you will qualify. Not a problem, okay? And look on the screen right now. This is why we are so excited with this instant business loan. Think about it. You can use the money to do a lot of things. You can use the cash to cover expenses. Here we're speaking about everyday expenses, operational expenses, payroll. Okay, you can purchase inventory. This is really good if you have suppliers who wants to have cash upfront, for example. You can use the money from Quick Loans Direct to do that. Take care of that. Purchase inventory. You can explain, are you in an industry that is currently scaling like crazy? Are you growing like crazy? Do you need cash to fuel that growth? Then Quick Loans Direct can help you, okay? You can use the cash to pay bills and payroll. I've said this before, so this is important in terms of working capital funding. You can also run your business on a day-to-day basis. You can also invest in commercial real estate, for example. This is really good. So what I'm trying to say is that with Quick Loans Direct, when you get the $1 million, again, 1 million is the maximum here, but when you get the cash from them, you can do a constellation of things, okay? And we'll love the fact that you have an automated application. So things happen very, very fast. It takes about 3 to 7 minutes when we reviewed the application process. But if you have all the paperwork ready, you can get funded the same business day. That's just fantastic. So $1 million. So one thing you need to keep in mind is that the company was founded about 7 to 8 years ago. They are legit though. They are legit, and basically they will fund you. They will look at they'll look at your financials. They will look at your business performance. So it's all about the cash flow. It's all about the cash flows. They're not looking at your FICO because, as you can see, the minimum FICO is the bare minimum. 300. Okay, so they actually offer different types of loans, including term loans, lines of credit, and revenue advances. Okay, and the thing here is that you need to have at least $10,000 in monthly gross revenue to qualify, and they want you to be in business for at least 6 months. So the eligibility is pretty straightforward: 6 months minimum and $10,000 in gross revenue. Let's talk about the pros and cons. This sounds like a great opportunity, right? Now, there are pros and there are cons to this opportunity, to this loan offer. What are the pros? So you have fast funding. I said this before, in the majority of cases, you will receive your funding on the same day or within just one business day. This is really good because if you need the cash real quick, Quick Loans Direct will be a good opportunity. And they also have a streamlined application process. We love that. Everything happens online, okay? This is the simplest that we have seen, and we have reviewed thousands of application processes, okay? And you can be done in just 5-7 minutes maximum. But make sure you have the correct documents on hand to speed things up even more. So when I'm speaking about the correct documents, I'm speaking about your financial statements, your business tax returns, your bank statements, among other documents. And there are no credit score requirements. Again, we are speaking about an instant business loan that does not require any minimum credit score. So credit score are not really a consideration when determining your eligibility, meaning anyone is welcome to apply. You will only be evaluated on your business income when your rates and terms are being decided again. So they kind of look at your cash flows. It's all about cash flows and business performance. And they do have low starting rates. So with rates starting from just 5.9% from term loans and factor rates of 1.1 on lines of credit, you will find some very reasonable terms here. and they have good customer service options. Okay, it's very easy to get in touch with Quick Loans Direct, and as a smaller platform, the Quick Loans Direct ecosystem is able to provide a friendlier and more personalized service. And so one thing I want to say here is we have seen a few cons, a few disadvantages, a few drawbacks here. So they have limited information available pre-application, so they don't disclose a lot of information before you apply. So it's very important to remember that. And we have seen that it's particularly difficult to find out what upper limits on interest rates are, or how long you'll have to pay back your loan. And some fees may apply. So fee information is not really disclosed before you apply. Again, we are speaking about transparency here, so it has been a problem for us. So we always recommend that you take great care when reading your loan, your loan, let's say your promissory notes, to ensure that you will be able to cover the cost of fees too. And they do have a limited number of online reviews. As I've said before, they have been in business for 7-8 years. So because they're a smaller platform, they don't have as many customer reviews as their competitors. Okay, so this can make it a little difficult to evaluate the quality of the service. Let me talk to you about the features, folks. It's important to understand that we are still speaking about a $1 million instant business loan. Okay, this is a loan that's just great, fantastic, and we want to say that this is good if you are in the business, if you are in the funding market right now, and they have business loans. That's the first thing. So this is the most popular loan again on the platform because they are fairly standard. Okay, they have APR ranges from 5.90%, and the loan amount goes from $5,000 to $1 million. Big decision time, folks. Are you interested right now in an instant business loan? If you are, then this could be a good opportunity for you to check them out. The only thing is, again, we don't have, so you're talking about 5.90% as minimum. But what about the maximum? You're going to have to call them up. You're going to have to call Quick Loans Direct to find out. But the loan goes from $5,000 to $1 million. And they also offer business lines of credit. Okay, this is really cool. And here, the APR range, you have factor rates between 1.11 to 1.14. And minimum and maximum amount, $5,000 to $1 million also. So one thing you need to understand is that lines of credit work a little bit like credit cards. Okay, so you can instantly borrow any amount up to a designated maximum. The benefit here is that you only pay interest on the cash you actually withdraw. So you will usually pay a smaller fee for every withdrawal, and instead of interest, you will be assigned factor rates. And this works by applying a multiplier to your loan to give you a lump sum payment. So this is kind of cool. And when we compare their factor rates to other providers' factor rates, what Quick Loans Direct charges are actually quite reasonable in our view. And you can also get revenue advance from Quick Loans Direct. Okay, so revenue advance is another name for a merchant cash advance. So this type of Quick Loans Direct funding is not really a loan at all, but a promise to pay a percentage of your future credit and debit card sales plus interest. This is kind of cool if you make a lot of electronic sales, so people pay you via credit card or debit card. This could be a good opportunity. The only thing is, it is also an expensive form of financing. You'll need to make sure that you don't fall into any cash flow issues with daily or weekly payments expected. Okay, so the minimum maximum amount here, again, $5,000 to $1 million. Let me talk to you about eligibility. How do you qualify for a Quick Loans Direct loan? So here, basically, I've said it before, that the platform has made it clear that you need to have $10,000 to generate $10,000 in gross monthly revenue, and you need to be in business for at least 6 months. So we love the fact that this is good. This is great because it is open to startups. There are no minimum credit score requirements. This is really good, but they want to have a few, I would say, some information about your business. So why are you applying for the loan? How would the loan proceeds be used? This is important. What assets need to be purchased and who are your suppliers. They'll pay attention to that because it's important to know a little bit of the kind of net 30 or net 45 vendors that you deal with. What other business debts do you have and who are your creditors? So Quick Loans Direct will try to find out what kind of exposure you may represent if they were to fund you, and who are the members of your management team. This is important for them to know a little bit about the business, especially when you're asking for a loan amount that is high. So we're speaking here $500,000 and up. They want to have as much information about your business as possible. Okay. And they might, in some cases, ask for resumes. We have seen people who, while applying, they have been asked to attach resumes of the management team. Okay. A business plan could also help. And income tax returns also. So this could be a 1065 or 1120S. And the one thing I need to say is that you need to have an EIN for this loan. Okay, they're not letting to sole proprietorships, so it's better to incorporate to be a legit business, to have an EIN, so you can be in terms of legal structure, you can be an LLC or LP or S corp or C corp. So for business tax returns, we are speaking about your 1065 or 1120S or 1120C. Okay, and Quick Loans Direct might also ask for financial statements as a way to gauge the company's profitability. So they'll be looking at the 4 financial statements. Okay, your balance sheet, your income statements, your cash flow statements, but also your statement of owner's equity to find out exactly who is behind the business, who are the founders, and who are the equity holders, the shareholders. And they might also ask for bank statements. So there is a constellation of documents they might ask for, but it depends on the transaction. It depends on the deal, and the only way you can find out is to apply. So once you apply, they'll give you all the information that are needed, or the information that's needed, especially all the documents that are needed. All the if they need a business contract, if they need to check out commercial leases, they need to know business licenses and registrations. Everything will be given to you during the application process. I want to talk to you about the application process, and this is an important element. As I said before, you can apply online, okay? And we love the fact that this is really a process whereby Quick Loans Direct has made a lot of innovation, and the whole thing happens within 3 to 7 minutes, okay? And most applications take no more than 5 minutes to complete. Approvals are near instant, and you could receive your funding on that very day. And you'll never usually be waiting any longer than 2 business days maximum to get your cash. But again, this depends on how complicated your particular application is. Okay, if you have a simple, let's say a straightforward application, and you have all the documentation, this is important. You got to have all the documents. Okay, then this is great. And you don't need, I would say, reams of documentation to apply, but the following will be useful to have it at hand before you submit. So 3 months of bank statements, business bank statements, your articles of incorporation. Okay, if you're incorporated, if you're a C corp, an S corp incorporation, or your articles of organization, if you're an LLC, LP, LP, it has to be customized to the states where you incorporated or organized. And they want to see also your profit and loss information, your P&L. Okay, this is the bare minimum. Okay, I'm giving you the bare minimum. If you want to, let's say you want to get $100,000 from them, or $75,000 or $250,000, then I'm giving you the bare minimum that you need to have at hand. So your employer identification number is important, because Quick Loans Direct they'll pull your business credit to see what kind of information is there. They will look at your Dun & Bradstreet and all your SBFE data. So everything from Experian, Equifax, Dun & Bradstreet, LexisNexis, okay? And they also might want to know more about the business owners. And this is what I said earlier, that they might want to look into the statement of owner's equity to find more information about who holds more than 51% of the business, okay? And how does Quick Loans Direct determine the loan amount? So your loan amount is almost entirely based on your business performance. So the more profit you're making, the more you'll be able to borrow, right? So the platform states that your credit score doesn't come into play at all, making this an attractive choice for those that have been rejected by other lenders for having a poor credit history. Okay, so they will look at your business bank statements, your cash flow status, and history of profit and loss before determining a final lending figure. Okay, so this is something you need to pay attention to. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Studio QA Show. We are still having a conversation about a $1 million instant business loan from Quick Loans Direct. And one thing I want to say here is that I want to talk to you about the client support and other related information. So we love the fact that it's very easy to get in touch with the customer service team at Quick Loans Direct. This is really good. And it's just better to call the help center directly, or you can send them an email as well, but it's just better to call if you can call. And they promise to respond to messages on the same day or whatever possible, and within 24 hours if you have messaged them outside of operating hours. Okay, this is really good. So if you have any question, if you have any let's say you just want to have more information about the business model, the loans, you can contact them. But they also have a wonderful FAQ page, so they will give you more information, all the basics that you need before you start your application. Okay, you will even find examples of the kind of documents you will need, so you have a great idea of exactly what to attach to your application. So if you really think about it, this is kind of cool because it can help you speed up the process all along. Okay, this is really something you need to, but one thing you need to understand is that you can contact them Monday through Friday. The only problem is they don't really they don't put any information about their weekend operating hours, if at all. In other words, are they even working on weekends or not? So they have to, Quick Loans Direct, if you listen to us, you want to mention that. This is important. And what we want to say here is that at the end of the day, Quick Loans Direct is still a small fish. They're still a small lender in comparison to their online competitors. And one thing that is important is that as a smaller player, they have more flexibility. Okay, so they will respond to you faster. They will work with you. They will make sure that you are there. You get all the information you need. Okay, and one thing we want to say here is that they still need to beef up their online presence in terms of customer reviews, because the customer reviews are thin at the moment, and because they're a smaller platform, and they constantly have to people have to call them first to find out more about the business. But what we want to say here is that we love the fact that if you have a bad credit, you need fast funding for an emergency situation, or are simply looking for a convenient lender to partner with, then Quick Loans Direct may be the platform for you. Okay, loans start at 5.49. This is kind of cool, and if you have excellent credit, that's wonderful, because you'll be able to borrow at very affordable rates. Let me give you a few pro tips before I close today's conversation. Folks, we are speaking about this loan, this instant business loan, and there are a few things you can do to basically boost your chances of being approved. First of all, you want to keep your documents in order. So as I was telling you, there is some documentation they will ask you during the application process. Okay, and you want to make sure that you have all the information ready. It's important, for example, to have all your tax documents ready, your EIN information ready. You want to have your bank statements, at least for the last 3 months, 3 to 6 months is kind of cool. And again, all this information, you can keep it, I would say physically, let's say in a binder or in a closet at work or at home. You can keep it electronically. You can save it on the cloud. You can save it on a USB drive, okay? And you also want to make sure that you maintain good credit, all right? Simply because the minimum credit score is 300 in this case doesn't mean that you have to actually strive for the worst. You need to set very high expectations in terms of your credit score, right? And you want to demonstrate sufficient cash flow. As I was telling you earlier, they pay attention to your history of profitability as well as your cash flow. So when you really think about it, they're looking at all the 4 financial statements, but they pay particular attention to 2. your P&L, profit and loss statement, and your cash flow statement, because they just realize that by following the money, they're able to gauge your liquidity status, to gauge your level of profitability. It's important, okay? And at the end of the day, Quick Loans Direct is just one player. If you don't get a loan from them, then you can get a loan from somebody else, okay? And make sure that you have been at least 6 months in business and you generate $10,000 in monthly gross revenue. Gross. In other words, pre-tax revenue, okay? This is important, and they're not asking you for collateral. Quick Loans Direct is not asking you for the collateral at all, okay? And you also need to decide what type of loan you need. As I said before, they actually offer a cash advance. They actually offer a line of credit, but they also offer a business term loan. So which kind of funding do you currently need? So make sure that you have all the documents. You want to gather your documents. You want to make sure that you have everything ready before applying, okay? All right, folks, this is it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about a $1 million instant business loan from Quick Loans Direct. And I gave you an overview of the loan, the pros and cons, the features, eligibility, the application process, the client support, and the pro tips. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.